25th, 2022 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting. It's good to see everybody here. We got a packed house for a little bit of our fiscal court meeting, I'm sure. So appreciate everybody's attendance. At this time, if you will, Clerk Barger, please call the roll.
Master Robinson. Here. Master Barger. Here. Master Tudor. Here. Master Bacon. Present. Judge Taylor.
Here. At this time, I'd like to invite my cousin, Jason Eads, up, which is the pastor of Viney Fork Baptist Church, to lead us in a word of prayer. Cousin, appreciate you being here.
An honor to be here. Honor to be here. Let's pray. Father God, what a privilege it is for us to stand before you this morning in your presence. Father, you remind us in the Psalms that you are an ever-present God, an ever-present help in times of trouble, in times of need, and Father, for that, we give you thanks. Father, we are glad to be gathered here today, and I did not know this, but we're gathered here today, and we celebrate 2 state championship teams, and for that, Father, we give you thanks. I thank you for their winning spirit. I thank you for their effort. Father, I thank you for the way that they have represented Madison County. Father, we are reminded in your word that you rule in the heavens, that the heavens are your throne, and that the earth is your footstool. As a Father, that reminds us that you are an authoritative God, Father, that you are in control. Father, in the book of Romans, you remind us that it is by your authority that you establish government leadership. Father, I pray for these men. I thank you for these men and their willingness to serve you. Father, I thank you for these that you have placed in the offices you have put them in. Father, I thank you for your watch care over them. Father, I thank you for your love. Father, I ask for your continued blessings upon them. Father, today I ask that you might guide them as they make decisions. Father, by your discerning hand, Father, I pray that you might give them discernment. Father, that you might give them wisdom in the decisions that they make. Father, I pray that these that have gathered here today, Father, as they make these decisions, Father, that they will be immovable, that they will be steadfast, and that they will abound in your work. And Father, I pray that the decisions that are made will be based on the only truth that exists, and that is the truth of your word. Father, may those decisions be made from the source of your truth. And Father, we thank you most of all for the salvation that you give us in your Son, Jesus Christ. And it's in the name of your Son, Jesus, that we ask all these things. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Good. Thank you. Sheriff, if you will, lead us in the pledge.
Please stand and face their flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Yeah, it did sound good. Thanks, Sheriff. Thanks, Cuz. Appreciate it a bunch. Next on our agenda, members of the court, y'all had a chance to look over our meeting minutes. That was from our October the 11th, 2022 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting. At this time, I need a motion and a second to approve.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Robinson. Yes. Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Bacon.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next is our treasurer's report. Good morning, Glenna.
Good morning. In your Dropbox, you'll find the treasurer's report, which goes through 9/30 of 2022. This is our first quarter report also for DLG and everything for this fiscal year. Our total fund balance is $32,681,311.84. The general fund revenues are at 23.3%. Our expenditures are at 14.9%. Our road fund is at 47.8%. Our expenditures are at 14.8%. Jail fund revenues are at 34.3%, and our expenditures are at 24.6%. Our LGEA fund, our revenues are at 17.1%, and our expenditures are at 1.9%. Our CSEP fund, our revenues are at 5.5%, our expenditures are at 5.2%. 911 revenues are at 25.6%, and our expenditures are at 18.5%. And our health fund revenues are at 21.9%, and our expenditures are at 34.5%. And the reason the health fund has a little bit more expenditures than it does revenues is we had a lot of big claims that were paid in this first quarter, but we also had some payments from our stop loss insurance that came in our last quarter in June. So
that would offset it.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions or any questions about the claims or anything that you'd like to ask?
I didn't get to call you yesterday, and I apologize that, but I did see a claim, and I'm sure somebody here knows that. There was one for $2,442.65. It was an insurance claim. And was that, does anybody know if that was for a vehicle? It was on page 2 of the claims.
Okay. Do you know who the vendor was?
Not off the top of my head, but it's all right if you want to follow back.
Yeah,
up
I'll
on
follow
that.
up and get with you on it. I'm sure it probably was on a vehicle, but I'll follow up exactly which vehicle it was and which department it belonged to.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it. First order of business today is, and Jason mentioned in his prayer, but we have two outstanding teams here that have had a lot of great accomplishments over the last several years, and I think all their hard work and dedication paid off. So we wanted to recognize them as a fiscal court today and share in their celebration and honor them for what they have meant to this county and how they've represented this county. In the first, we have our Madison Central boys golf team. And Kyle, I'll ask you in just a second if you want to come up and say a few words. I'm sure none of your players here want to come up to the mic, but I'll give you the opportunity to come up in just a minute, and I'll ask the boys to come up and stand in front of the court bench. Okay? So as I'm reading the proclamation, if you want to make your way up to the podium. This is a Madison County Fiscal Court proclamation. Whereas the Madison Central boys golf team won the 2022 Kentucky High School Athletic Association State Tournament on October the 5th, 2022. And whereas the state championship team members and scoring averages are as follows. Senior Clay Pendergrass, scoring average 70.4. Senior Mason Hamrick, scoring average 74.1. Junior Warren Thomas, scoring average 71.8. Junior Brandon Bond, scoring average 79.3. Sophomore Radney Bales, scoring average 79.8. And Kyle Compton, the coach. Whereas the team's highlights record consists of 18 individual wins, 9th region team champion. Clay Pendergrass and Warren Thomas both won first team All-State for the 3rd year in a row. No one has ever done that. Warren Thomas placed 4th in the state tournament. Mason Hamrick was the region runner-up individually, shooting 67. For those that don't know that, that's a very good score. Won 2nd team All-State and placed 5th in the state tournament. Clay Pendergrass had 6 individual wins and placed 6th in the state tournament. Whereas we would like to show recognition to these student athletes and their coach for their exemplary performance in the representation of themselves, their school, and Madison County during the 2022 KHSAA Golf Championship and throughout the season. Now therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive, and the Madison County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim October 25th, 2022 as Madison Central Boys Golf State Champions Day, and encourage all Madison Countyans to join us in congratulating these young men on their job well done. Witness my hand in the official seal of Madison County this 25th day of October 2022. So if you want to say a few words, and then we'll get a picture.
He's put me on the spot today, and I'm not very good at speeches, but I think he kind of explained everything right there. But I just want to say thank you to you guys and Judge. The support that we have behind us in this town, it's unbelievable. I know a lot of you guys don't know the support that we get, but what we did this year and what we've done the last few years as a high school program doesn't just happen with these guys' effort. It's the love and support we have behind us in this town that I promise you a lot of coaches and school, other programs are jealous of because they know what we get from our principal, from our AD, to everybody in this town. We have great sponsors, and when these guys go out and play, and I know I've said it plenty of times, we feel like we're playing for more than just Madison Central and themselves. We're always out there to play for Madison County and especially Richmond. So just want to say thank you guys for having us here today, it means a lot to me as a hometown kid to be here standing in front of you guys and for you all to do this for us today. It's a big deal for us, so thank you all.
And I don't know, and I'm sure two coaches might know this, but it's really awesome when you have, one team that is a state champion. And I don't know if it's ever happened before. I'm sure it hadn't happened very often, but then when you have two teams,
For the
third time, that have won the state championship, especially in the same sport. And not that the boys don't mean a lot to me, but these girls do mean a lot to me because I've watched them with my daughter and them all being on the same team. And we've created lifelong friendships, not only with these girls, but their parents as well. And I know that, the boys go through this too. They don't have as big a following as boys as the girls do. But they do mean, these girls do mean a lot to me. Whereas the Madison Central girls golf team won the 2022 Kentucky High School Athletic Association state tournament on October the 8th, 2022. And whereas the team also set a school record with a team score of 284, had a team scoring average of 308 for the season, and were the winners of 11 events, including the coaches All-State Championship. And I have to say that these girls, to me, won 2 state championships. Because really the All-State Championship is the best of the best in the state of Kentucky. Whereas the state championship team members and scoring averages are as follows. Senior Elizabeth Eberly, scoring average 73. Senior Claire Beth Ramsey, scoring average 76. Senior Lydia Harold, scoring average 79. Junior Abby Buchanan, scoring average 81. Freshman Molly Neely, scoring average 79. Tenny Orr coach, Holly Connect, assistant coach. Whereas the team's highlights record consists of Elizabeth Eberly, 2022 First Team All-State, and Claire Beth Ramsey was 2021 First Team All-State. Whereas we would like to show recognition to these student athletes and coaches for their exemplary performance in the representation of themselves, their school, and Madison County during the 2022 KHSAA Golf Championship and throughout the season. Now therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive in the Madison County Fiscal Court, do hereby proclaim October 25th, 2022 as Madison Central Girls Golf State Champions Day, and encourage all Madison Countyans to join us in congratulating these young ladies on a job well done. Witness my hand and the official seal of Madison County this 25th day of October 2022. Girls, you're up. Tina, you're up.
Thank you. We'd like to thank this great honor from Judge Taylor. He's been a part of our family for a number of years. And we've had a great year. I echo what Kyle has said about the tremendous support of Madison County. I'm an import. They hired me from another county to come over here and coach this program for the last 5 years, so I've enjoyed that tremendously. And this tops it off by winning the state championship. We came close last year, but we brought it home this year.
So Judge, since you were part of our family for a number of years, the golf team would like to present you with one of our state sweatshirts.
Thank you very much.
Eventually, I'm putting marks on the floor.
That's what I was just thinking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Appreciate you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, thank you.
Larry.
Thank you very much.
Big
Hi. Been a while, hasn't it? Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hi, it's been a while. I'll come over about something else.
That's good stuff.
16-point delta in the average. They were on fire,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, the girls,
Yes.
being when a girls' team is shooting, what was our average, 308?
308 and they go 284.
Yeah.
16,
Yeah.
16 strokes.
It's pretty good. Yeah, really good. For the golf lovers out there, they know how impressive that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
That's impressive.
appreciate them and all their accomplishments. It's good stuff. Next, we have a proclamation recognizing Sheila Virgin, Sheila Virgin Day. And Sheila, I'll ask you the same, and if you wanted to come up and say a few words as I read the proclamation. And I do have a list of people that may be here that are here with you, but I'll maybe ask you to recognize them in just a second. Whereas Sheila Virgin is the founder and executive director of Health Now Clinic in Richmond, Kentucky. And whereas the clinic has been caring for thousands of Madison County residents for more than 17 years who have experienced homelessness, mental health issues, and are either uninsured or underinsured patients. And whereas the clinic offers free visits, labs, and often prescriptions and is completely staffed by volunteers, including Sheila and her medical staff. And whereas the clinic has been Sheila's passion project for years, she has earned the right to enjoy retirement, so the clinic is planning to close permanently later this year. Now therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive in the Madison County Fiscal Court, do hereby proclaim October 25th, 2022 as Sheila Virgin Day in recognition of her dedication and years of service to our community and the clinic.
Thank you so much. I was fine with this until now. I can't rethink that now. I'm not going to. I thank you for the opportunity to serve this community for the last 17 years. This has been a dream of mine since I was a small child, so the fact that it could come to fruition and for as long as it has been just phenomenal. I've received more of a blessing from this than the patients. And it's sad to see it close. It's very bittersweet, but it's time for a new emphasis, a change, whatever. I wanted to acknowledge my husband. He has not only been supportive in the background, but he comes to clinic every night and takes on my grief. So he is just fantastic for support. My friends that are here, the chairman of the board, Jim and Nancy McKay, my friend Pam Schloman, and in spirit, my colleague who passed away several years ago, Joan Schmidtke, and one of my board members, Nancy Crew. It's been wonderful. Also, some people in the trenches that also served in Grace Now are dear friends of mine, Sherry and Glenn Robinson. So I'm really so thankful and feel so good to be supported by my friends. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're good. Depends on where he stands.
I'm gonna let her.
It's a shadow off the top up there.
I wanna let y'all group go up here. Hi, my name's. Good to see you.
Nancy.
All right, I'm gonna need somebody to go on this side.
Yeah, we got
so
back
she's-
on that.
I needed a wider shot too.
Who's going first?
Like,
Blake. All right, and hold on, let me adjust that real quick. Sorry, y'all. All right, Jill.
all right, Ben, I'm gonna need you to take a step to the left or step to the right.
I'll move right, how about that?
Perfect. All right, one.
I was just snapping away.
I'm good.
Extra. You all are good now.
Appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good, good.
She was gonna be looking less. They're gonna send me a bill.
I think sometimes, even us as elected officials, we don't always know what somebody does or what somebody's mission is or what their passions are. And I think this is a good example of a true servant, somebody that puts service above self. And this will be missed. So, and hopefully somebody will pick up the torch and come in and do some of the similar things in the future. Next is first reading of ordinance 2022-10. This is a land use change, 2455 Lexington Road from UC 7 agricultural to UC 4 general commercial.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
This is a first reading, ordinance 2022-10, an ordinance of the Madison County Fiscal Court, Kentucky, approving the zone change of a 24.42 acre tract of land located at 2455 Lexington Road, Richmond, Madison County, Kentucky, and authorizing the amendment of the official zoning map of Madison County, Kentucky. Whereas the hereinafter described land is located in Madison County, Kentucky, and whereas the Madison County Planning Commission held a public hearing on Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, to consider a land use change request application from UC 7 Agriculture to UC 4 General Commercial. Upon presentation by the applicant and with no parties appearing in opposition to the application, findings of fact were made by the Planning Commission as described in their summary of evidence, findings of fact, and recommendation to the fiscal court attached hereto and made a part hereof for all purposes as follows. That the existing zoning classification is inappropriate and the proposed zoning classification is appropriate for the following reasons. The requested UC4 zoning classification is consistent with the current comprehensive plan given the property's location. The size, layout, topography, and location of the property make it suitable for commercial use. The existing zoning classification of UC7 is inappropriate and the UC4 zoning classification is appropriate since other commercial uses directly adjoin the subject property. The zoning classification of UC4 is appropriate as the property is suitable for commercial development given its location and that it is adjoined by I-75 to the east and an access road to the north, and that the requested zone change to UC4 will be in conformity with the existing use and development of other property in the area near the subject property and is appropriate. Whereas the Madison County Planning Commission, upon hearing testimony, made a motion with unanimous consent to recommend to the Madison County Fiscal Court to approve the land use change request from UC7 to UC4. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has reviewed said findings and recommendations of the Madison County Planning Commission and being otherwise sufficiently advised, and does hereby adopt the findings of fact made thereby. Now therefore be it ordained and enacted by the Fiscal Court of Fiscal Court of the County of Madison, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that the land use classification of the following property, described property, be changed by this ordinance from UC7 to UC4 classification. And Section 1 contains a legal description of the property. Section 2, that the Madison County GIS Coordinator make the appropriate changes to the official zoning map of Madison County, Kentucky. And Section 3, that the county clerk cause this ordinance to be published in accordance with the Kentucky Revised Statutes.
Thank you, Bert. Y'all heard the first reading of ordinance 2022-10, land use change 2455 Lexington Road from UC7 agricultural to UC4 general commercial. This time I need a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Judge, I always really love it when zone change come before the court and there's no opposition for the change, so that means it very much fits the criteria that recommended at this point, so.
It's only fitting with the state highway garage in front of it that it be changed to commercial.
Yep, and of course, just remember, this is the first reading. We will advertise at the, I guess, our next meeting.
Yeah, we're ready to go in 2 weeks.
We'll be ready to go in
Yep.
2 weeks, so we'll be advertising, to follow the law of our second reading of ordinances to make sure that the public is aware and know. So that'll happen for our
In Berea.
November 8th meeting in Berea. Yep. So if anybody would like to make comments, you feel free to call our office or email me. I think comments at MadisonCountyKY.us, or you can call me directly at the office at 859-624-4700, and we can answer anybody's questions that they may have. So any other comments or discussion?
Just a question, did you get the opportunity to send us a map yesterday?
I did. I sent it to you.
Thank you
Did you
very
get
much.
it? Yeah, I'm gonna start, Tom asked me if I'd start putting a map in your all's, and I gotta get with Rob and figure out the best way to do that. So just a map showing the property, and what's around it, and
Yeah.
kinda give you an overview. And maybe we'll start putting it up on the screen or something too, but yeah, we'll try to include a map with the ordinance in your all's packets.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, this property, actually, the access right now is the same entrance to the road garage, state transportation garage.
Backs up to the interstate.
And backs up, it actually sits in between the state road garage and I-75, so it kinda runs.
You really
parallel.
can't see the property from, you really can't even see it from the interstate. I drove down the interstate and looked, and it kinda sits up on a hill, so if you don't know it's there,
If you don't drive up to it, you're not gonna see it.
yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
All right. Any other comments or questions? We do have a first and a second. So, no other comments? Call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bert. Appreciate it. Next, resolution 2022-121. This is Clark's Place subdivision road adoption. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. Resolution 2022-121. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court would like to adopt the following roadways for county maintenance, and whereas the roads are described as follows. Clark Place subdivision, first road is Callie's Way, 1,125 feet long by 20 feet wide. Second, Andrea's Way, 1,164 feet long by 22 feet wide. And third, Nikki's Circle, 375 feet long by 22 feet wide. Whereas the roads have been inspected by the Madison County Road Supervisor and is recommended for adoption. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve the resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designees to execute same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Scott. Y'all heard resolution 2022-121. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Judge, did we just finish completing the final court, color?
Yes.
Blacktop on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're able to take it in now, because it meets all our county requirements.
Absolutely. In fact, I was out in that area a couple of weeks, I guess probably about a week ago, when they were doing the paving, and explained to the residents out there that we were gonna have to, do some procedural things, here on fiscal court and bring these roads into the city, and we would take care of them from now to perpetuity, and not them. So, Scott, I appreciate, your help in this, and the Allen Company doing the paving, and Judge, I appreciate your support as well in working with KCO to get the funding needed, to get this paved. It's been a problem for many, many years, and I'm glad that we finally have some resolution.
Yep, it's good. Been a long time coming, so I'm glad we got it done. All right, any other comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is personnel in the fire department. Chief, good morning.
The first one I got on bring before the court is firefighter Jackson Roder. He just completed his IFSAC instructor, so I want to move him from a firefighter 2 to a firefighter 4 at $10.74 an hour, effective 10/26/2022.
All right, if the court approves the recommendation by our chief, I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
The second one is firefighter Joseph Mead. He also completed his IFSAC instructor. He'll go from a firefighter 3 to a firefighter 4 on 10/26/2022 at $10.74 an hour.
All right. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the promotion, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Promotion of Joseph Mead.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Hey, Chief, one quick question. So how are you from a staffing perspective?
We've got our 3 recruits that's about half, a little further than halfway through the recruit class. They'll go on somewhere around Christmas, New Year's. And we've had 1 other that's left, and we've got 2 in other processes. So we'll probably be looking hard in 3 more somewhere around the first of the year.
Fantastic, thank you.
Chief, one other question while you're there. What's the difference from firefighter 3 to move? promotion to 4?
When we start out, everybody starts out as a level 1, and once they complete their 400-hour certification, become state certified, they go to a firefighter 2. Then firefighter 3, they become national certified with their IFSACs. That means that they're IFSAC certified, can work any fire department recognized throughout the United States. Then when they go from a 3 to a 4, they get their instructor that they can teach other recruits or firemen to train to get them to that level 3.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Chief, any comments you want to make on obviously the weather and burning and all that kind of stuff as well?
Right now, we're just advising everybody to try not to burn if you don't have to till we get sufficient rainfall. We don't have a burn ban in other than what the state forestry ban is, and that's just between the hours of 6 p.m. at night to 6 a.m. If you're within 150 feet of woods or structures, you're allowed to burn. Other than that, if you're in that distance or proximity, they're asking you not to burn. If you're outside of that, you can burn, but we're asking people to use good judgment and not burn right now.
Gotcha. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. All right, next, well, we have personnel in the road department. Good morning again, Scott.
Good morning. First person we have we'd like to recommend to hire is Brian Keith. We'd like to hire him as a general laborer, full-time position. Starting salary is $14 per hour. His start date would be 26/2022. The interview committee was made up of myself and Chief Gray.
Motion to hire Brian Keith is presented, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Scott?
Second person we'd like to recommend is Eric Burton, and he will be a CDL truck driver, general labor, full-time, $16 per hour, and his start date would be 10/26/2022, and the interview committee was comprised of Scott Shepard and Shane Poff.
Okay.
Make a motion to hire Eric Burton.
Second.
Is it Burton? Burton, yeah. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Our third recommendation is Doug Martin, and he will be a seasonal part-time snow removal, CDL. That pay is $20 per hour. Start date would be 11/2/2022, pending pre-employment screening. And the interview committee was made up of myself and Melissa Settle.
All right, thank you, Scott.
I'd like to make a motion to hire Doug Martin as a seasonal snow removal driver CDL license, starting pay at $20 an hour.
All right,
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Scott, how we looking on seasonal fire?
I think we're right at the amount we need. Talked with Morgan this morning, a couple from last year want to come back, but we have to go through the procedure of letting them put an application in and getting approval. So I think if we get those two back, we'll be in good shape.
Has that Barger guy put an application in yet?
Not yet, but I'm expecting it any day.
I don't know if I can pass the pre-employment screening.
We'll put one in, we'll put one in for him if we don't.
Kenny, we appreciate you guys. Just keep
Sure,
Barger.
thank
Hey,
I haven't seen my single axle black Peterbilt show up yet either.
Right, with a sleeper on it.
With a little sleeper.
Yeah,
That'll be a big
right.
sleeper. It's a little sleeper. It's not down there yet. I've been looking for it.
does your numbers count him? Or-
Yeah, he's automatic.
He's automatic, okay, all right, good. All right, y'all heard the motion in a second, or you've heard the reading, we have a motion in a second, so any more discussion? All right, call the roll.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Scott, appreciate it. Next, personnel in EMA CSEP. Good morning, Dustin.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, everybody. First applicant we'd like to hire is Aaron Murdoch for the position of EOC technician. It's a full-time position. Pay is $18.41 an hour with a start date of 11/9/22. The committee is made up of Morgan Elliston, Jennifer Hitch, Taylor Hoffman, and this hiring is pending pre-employment screening.
Make a motion to hire Mr. Murdoch.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to hire Aaron Murdoch for an EOC technician at $18.41 proposed salary, starting on 11/9/2022. Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
For our second EOC technician position, we'd like to hire Esther Harris, full-time position. Again, proposed salary is $18.41 an hour with a start date of 11/9/22. The committee was made up of the same three individuals, and this is also pending a pre-employment screen.
Motion to hire Esther Harris as presented, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes. Are you full of EOC techs now?
We're just one position complete short. We have an opening position right now on our first shift.
It seems like that well, maybe it's not every court, but it seems like every court we're hiring EOC techs. Are folks leaving for other things? I mean, why is there such a turnover in EOC techs?
Yeah, so we have seen some depart, but we also have seen others promote. And what happens is this is our entry-level position. So we've been fortunate that, some of the folks that were EOC technicians were able of being promoted and had that ability to do so. So, yeah, it looks like we're always filling in EOC technicians, but as people they promote to other spots, day shift or supervisors, then we're filling in at that level.
Good.
And I think one thing we have to realize too as a court that, CSEP's going away.
Yes.
And so, a lot of times a position like an EOC tech might be a first step into a bigger career, right? It's great for resumes. And so, we do see some of these individuals, and, we hire them, they know it's not forever. And so I think sometimes you'll see them as this is like a stepping stone, and they'll move into maybe something else in emergency management.
Somewhere else.
I mean, we've had some leave to go to EMS, right?
Yep.
And so, I think that's, I guess what I'm saying here is I think that this is something that we have to somewhat expect could be a potential
Yeah, I mean, we have.
till the end of CSEP.
We're fortunate many of these are students as well, so that they're going to school and being able to work for us, get that experience. Just as the judge said, I mean, we've had folks go to the state of Arkansas emergency management, Louisiana emergency management. So, yeah, it's an opportunity for them. Yes, it's probably a stepping stone because of our end date, but at the same time, we also feel like if we can benefit ourselves at this point, you know, the community, the county, emergency management, with their value now, we understand that, you know, their position's not forever. They understand that, and that's part of what we have to do.
Might also be a good fit for young men and women at Eastern or Brick College who are looking for get their foot in the door for things like that, and safety.
Absolutely. I would have to think about it, but we have a number of our folks in this position that are students currently.
Justin, do you have anything such as a part-time or emergency call person?
So we don't have a part-time position for that. That being a funded through emergency management in the county, those responsibilities fall to me first, and then we utilize our staff that are CSEP folks to assist us in that, and then we just have to make sure if they respond to a emergency management type emergency, that we make sure that comes out of our funding from emergency management in the county. So that's how we still cover ourselves in that position.
So do we have any upcoming training exercises?
So yeah, we'll, you know, next September will be our annual exercise. When this coming March, we don't have a time frame yet, we'll be doing schools again for the CSEP event. And we always are participating in exercises with our partner agencies, you know, at the state, other counties, as well as we'll be working constantly with new staff and, you know, current staff to keep our skills honed. So, you know, most Fridays or every other Friday, we're still doing our in-house exercises.
Gotcha, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Dustin. We do have a motion and a second for Esther Harris. So, no more discussion, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucket?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Dustin. Appreciate it. All right, next, the judge's report. I do have a few announcements. We've got a busy week coming up with a Halloween event. So Richmond's Halloween Hoedown will be this Thursday, October 27th. It will be along Main Street at 6 p.m. For more information, contact Richmond Parks and Recreation. For those that might be traveling through downtown, just be mindful that Main Street will be closed down for several hours. And I'm sure on their website with Richmond Parks and Recreation that they'll have that identified of what routes that are closed. Berea's Halloween in the Park will be Monday, October 31st in the Berea City Park at 6 p.m. For more information, contact Berea Parks and Recreation. County citywide trick-or-treat night will be Monday, October 31st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So no matter if you live out in the county or you live inside the city limits of Richmond or Berea, we always try to stay united on trick-or-treat night, same time frames, and that will be Monday, October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. Richmond Chamber of Commerce Annual Awards Banquet will be on Thursday, November the 3rd at the King Johnson Building on EKU's campus. Please visit Richmond Chamber of Commerce website for tickets and more information. And do not forget to set your clocks back before you go to bed on Saturday evening, November the 6th. That is Daylight Savings is coming up here soon. And I'll be glad. It's too dark in the mornings, Blake. It's hard to get up. Baptist Health Richmond is hosting a behavioral health summit at EKU's Perkins Building on Thursday, November the 10th from 8 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. Community members are welcome. Registration is free but required. Please call 859-625-3675 for more information. Again, this is a Baptist Health Richmond will be hosting a behavioral health summit at EKU's Perkins Building on Thursday, November the 10th. Madison County's courthouses and its related offices will be closed on Friday, November the 11th for the Veterans Day holiday, just in preparation for those in the next few weeks that need access on that day. We will be closed, but we will reopen on Monday, November the 14th. And the last thing I want to do is encourage anybody that needs me or needs me in the office, has questions about county operations, they can feel free to call me at the office, email me, call my cell phone. My cell is 859-661-5705. We have a wonderful staff in the judge's office with Robin. You can reach out to her, Jill, Morgan, if anybody has any questions about anything. Next is magistrate's comments. Who to start with last time? With Ben. Tom.
I'm gonna keep mine short today, Judge. No laughing about that. No, I don't have a lot to say. We do have blacktop down and going down in the 4th District, and so what I've saw over in Deer Creek, they've done a good job, and we appreciate Allen Company and Scott working with that. I just want to urge folks to remember, again, I've said this in the last call, but I just want to urge one more time to remember that we are still campaigning, and we tend to drive a little reckless, not reckless, but we make sudden stops. That's a very good way to put it. We make sudden stops, so please allow and just be cautious when we're out. And I also want to urge people, since our next court will be after our early voting, to please go vote. I spent 20 years in the Army so that you would have the right to walk up to the polls and cast your vote. And please don't take that lightly. There was a lot of people way previous to me in our country who shed a lot of blood so that you have that right. And it's one of the most important ones that you do. So I certainly encourage you all to vote. Early voting is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. If anyone needs me, they can reach me at 200-9765.
Thanks, Tom. John?
Judge, I just want to announce that we've had 4 roads in the 3rd District blacktop this past week. Ben Reeves, Hensley Lane, Shady Oaks Circle, and Knoblick. So those were all in need. One of them goes into Estill County. It's about a mile, goes to the bridge down there, and the school bus travels that about 3 trips a day, and it was getting pretty rough down there.
That's where we fixed that bridge, wasn't it?
We
Did we do a bridge project?
We did
down there? Actually, 2, wasn't it?
slated bridge project down there about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Also on 499, which is Panola Road, I was finally able to work with the state and get a school bus loading sign put up that Miss Carolyn Kidd has her grandkids loading out there. And the bus comes over a hill and it's a blind spot there, and it was very dangerous, but we finally were able to get a bus loading sign there, and maybe that'll be a deterrent from people speeding through there in that area, so hopefully that'll help. Like Tim said, it's dry conditions. Just if you're gonna burn, use extra caution. We're about as dry this time of year as I can ever remember. And one last thing, Judge, everybody likes to eat country ham on Saturday, October the 29th, at the St. Paul AME Church out on Francis Street. They're having a ham breakfast. It's $10 a ticket, but it's well worth it, and it goes to the church and to help feeding some of the hungry people in that area out there. So it's from 7 to 11, Saturday, October 29th.
Good, thanks, John. Raj?
Well, like the others, I got a little blacktop, so I appreciate Scott and his workers for getting that done. And made a call to him the other day about a little side road. The gentleman thought that it might be county, but it's not, and that's why they blacktopped almost up to his house, I guess. He couldn't figure out why they quit. He's not a county road. They have to understand that sometimes some of them don't even know if they live on a county road or not. Other than that, I just want to thank the county employees for the service that they give the people. And it's everybody's right, and you need to go vote.
Thanks, Raj. Ben?
Yeah, I wish they were still here, but I understand that they have to go back to school because they are student athletes. I'd like to recognize, the golf teams at Madison Central. I think it's absolutely awesome that it's only been done 3 times now with the boys and girls at Madison Central. And, as an avid golfer myself, I recognize the time and effort that those young men and women have put in to accomplish the goal that they've achieved of being state champions. And also their parents that have driven them around and been at every match and been there, everything from swing doctors to psychologists and whatever else to get them through, the golf season. And I also want a particular shout out to the girls. To have a 16-stroke delta between their average and what they shot at state is absolutely impressive. And I can only say that they must have been on fire in that match, and great for them. I'd like to thank Scott and the Allen Company and Judge Taylor as well for the paving work that was done down at Clark's Place. I think that everybody that are on Clark's Place is It has been well received, and it has been a mess for years, and I'm glad that it's finally been cleared up. Also, there was, discussion about trick or treating. It is gonna be on the 31st, and it's gonna be countywide from 6 to 8, so please, 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 use caution during 6 and 8, and make sure that, we're on the lookout for those ghouls and goblins that may be out there. Sorry about that. And like also everyone else has said, we have early voting that starts on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The polling locations that we have are at the Acton Folk Center in Berea, the County Extension Office on Duncannon Lane, as well as the Madison County Public Library here in Richmond. So it makes no difference where you vote, but please do vote. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben, appreciate it. Kenny, you have anything?
Yeah, Ben, Danielle Mitchell, our election coordinator, has strep throat, so Teresa and I, about 30 minutes notice, we were gonna be doing election school, but you did a pretty good job right there, so from 3 and 5:30, we're having election school at the extension office, and you can teach it if you like.
Well,
We're looking for a fill-in, because you did a really good job on that early voting.
Well, thank you.
The other, election day, I'll go over, there's, including those 3 locations, there is Berea Church of God on Rash Road, Big Hill Christian Church on Goggins Lane, the Mule Barn at Arlington on Lexington Road, East Side Community Church on Catappa Loop, which is out off of Irvin Road, and Whitehall Baptist, which is on Colonel Road up in the northern end of the county. Those are the election day locations. Tonight at midnight is your last chance to request an excused absentee mail-in ballot. That portal closes at midnight, and then tomorrow starts excused walk-in voting here at the courthouse during normal business hours, 8 to 4:30.
And that runs till when?
And that runs till the 2nd, because then early voting starts the next day.
Next day, yes.
Extended.
Yep.
And early voting is Thursday?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yep.
From 8 to 4 at those 3 locations.
It's good. It's good.
I want to mention one more thing too. Please educate yourself before going to the polls. On this ballot, there's 2 amendments on this ballot. One of them's very long, one of them's very short, but they're both extremely confusing. They're hard to understand. You think you know how you're gonna vote, especially on one of them, and when you show up and read it, you're not gonna be sure. And like we're talking in election school, no one working at the polls is allowed to discuss any matter on the ballot, whether it be a race for magistrate or one of these amendments. We are not allowed to discuss it. We can talk to you about the mechanics of voting. We cannot talk to you about the issues. So there are gonna be people that are gonna go in the booth, have an idea of how they wanna vote, they're gonna read it and go, I have no idea, and turn around and say, can you help me with this? We cannot. And there's no discussion of any of those amendments in the voting room at any time at the polls. So just like you can't talk about a candidate in one race or another race, you can't talk about anything to do with these 2 amendments while you are voting. That's gonna be hard for people to understand. That's another reason we can't discuss it. We can't even talk about it. You can't talk about it as a voter in the room. That sounds really harsh, but please get online, look them up on the sample ballots and be ready to vote, because the thing that really causes me a problem is it's gonna slow things down tremendously. You've got 2 minutes to vote. We have never been hard and fast about that, but if you're in there 5, 6, 7 minutes, we're gonna ask you to make your selection and print your card and move on, because we got people waiting behind you.
Kenny, is there a site people can go to find the sample ballots?
We have sample ballots on our website.
And you can go to our site, like MadisonCountyKY.us, and you can, up under elected officials is Kenny Barger's name, and it'll take you straight to the clerk's website and all his website's awesome. I mean, it's really easy to read, select, and,
But please be prepared, because you're gonna cause backups at the polls. We can check in 30 seconds. If everybody takes 2 minutes to vote, we're gonna be lines. That's just all there is to it. I don't like factors I can't control. That's one I can't control. So just do what I can.
is there any, Kenny, is there any projections of what kind of turnout that there's gonna be?
We're having, we're over 2,000 absentees right now, with about probably 700 returned today. And I don't know if that's from the increased, that's big jump. The only thing we got to compare it to is primary, because we've never done this before, basically. So it's a big jump from the primary, tenfold increase from the primary. But I don't know if that's from the increased convenience of being able to request a ballot at the, the states with the govote.ky.gov, or if it's increased turnout. I think it's gonna be a little bit of both. But, the secretary says he's expected 40%. I think that's gonna be a pretty easy to reach numbers, considering we've got 2,000 out of 75,000 voters, almost 76. We got 2,000 that have already voted, or already requested a ballot, and we're gonna send it back in. So that's gonna be a pretty big turnout.
Yeah, it's good. Good.
So please, the other thing, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Please
the
vote
floor's
early.
all yours, buddy. Keep going.
Please vote early too. Please try to spread this out. It's just like in motor vehicles. I can help the line move faster, but I cannot control how many people are in it. If everybody that renews in the month of October shows up on the same Friday, there's gonna be a line. Please, if you vote early, show up and vote early. Spread out the load. It helps other voters, it helps people working the polls, it helps everything. Spread that load out. If you don't have to wait till election day, don't wait till election day. Go the Thursday, Friday, Saturday before.
Yeah.
And it makes no difference where you vote.
That makes no difference where you vote at
Yeah.
all. Thanks for bringing that up, cause I forget it. I skip over that. That's some simple stuff. 'Cause
Oh, that's
I
good.
think about
Yeah,
it.
if you live at Boonesboro and you wanna vote at the Russell Acton Folk Center, you go.
You sure can.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting gas at Buc-ee's.
If you're getting gas, that's right. If you're stopping by Buc-ee's, just go on down to the extension office and
Yeah.
drop in.
Yeah. That's good. Thanks, Kenny.
Maybe we need to pick Buc-ee's location. Pretty good place.
I'm glad Tom went short today. Lordy mercy.
Brisket and ballots.
Yeah. Brisket and ballots, that's right. Brooke, you
I don't
good?
have
You
any.
good? Sheriff? Yeah. Steve?
I would like to just announce that the jail has a baptism tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we've got 72 signed up.
Wow.
Wow.
It's really gonna be a good, long night at the jail.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff. Thanks, Steve. It's good stuff. All right, comments from department heads. Bye.
Judge, I don't see anybody volunteering, but I'm gonna ask Chief Gray if he would to come up. I encountered an issue over in Arcadia Cove, when I was going through campaigning with, insurance rates over there. And I'd like for the chief just to address that briefly. I know there are a lot of people watch this, and I didn't get to see every single person over there, but maybe they'll see it today.
Yeah, what it is, we cover that area for Richmond Fire Department. We're first due, same as they are on automatic aid. And if you're in that area, you fall under Class 3 still because we cover that. A lot of those addresses, this deal was done back in 2012 or maybe 13 when they closed Station 5. We took that area over. And Arcadia Cove and some of that wasn't built at that time, and a lot of those roads wasn't on the original map that they did. So Chief Kirby's went back and re-updated those. So if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to my office, 859-624-4775, or Chief Kirby, 859-623-1164, and we'll get whatever they need to their insurance company for them to get that straightened out.
So they're getting it worked out now, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Cause the ISO really messed that up, because they were saying they weren't covered, which they were, cause of our automatic aid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what it was,
That whole area, that whole Golden Leaf subdivision is, I mean,
when we did that in 2012, 2013, that subdivision wasn't developed then, those roads wasn't in the plan, it hadn't been expanded out, and a lot of those roads is not on the original deal where it hadn't been built and put in that, at that
Yeah.
time, so that's what the reason they were
and
not
it's really
showing
no
up.
different. Our automatic aid, we cover that for the city, but the city also, there's a section of Lancaster Road and Barnes Mill.
They do
that
Lancaster
cover
Road and
for
Barnes
us, so-
Mill, and we, Chief Kirby and I just did one recently on, with their Station 2 going out 52 Concord, that area. And that takes everybody in, helps everybody out in those areas.
And I mean, it shows obviously the unity and working together and the
Yep.
partnership working together. But I think a lot of times citizens don't really understand the importance of that and that ISO rating. I mean,
Yep.
the rule of thumb used to be if you were a 10 and you got moved down to a 6, that was about a 30% reduction in your insurance premium. And that's significant.
Yep.
I
So
remember when we closed it, we went out there,
the city closed the one at Duncannon, you mean?
Yeah, Station 5.
but it was a county also.
Yeah, when we shut the one on Keeneland, when they did the revamp of that building, we moved to Vickers Drive, it changed a lot of people's in that area, cause we moved out and had to get Richmond Station 4 to cover some of that.
People at the time building houses, you know, I wouldn't build here if that, you know, so, but they're
Yep.
still covered.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
Well, I encountered this judgment in the spring whenever I was going around talking to people, and the chief, and Chief Riley both, got together and gave me a list of those roads that I was able to pass out to as many folks as could come in contact with while I was going through there, in the fall. But we appreciate that, Chief. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
That's good. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. Comments from the audience? Bye good? All right, I need a motion to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Bucket?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next fiscal court meeting will be in Berea. It's our first meeting of the odd month. It's be in Berea, November the 8th, 2022 at 9:30. Again, our next meeting will be November the 8th, 2022 in Berea at 9:30. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Call the roll.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucket?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you being